This week, in the biggest election in its history, Mexico elected Claudia Sheinbaum as president. She's the first female president, but also the first from a Jewish background in the country's more than 200 years of independence. Sheinbaum, the former mayor of Mexico City, achieved a landslide victory for the ruling left-wing Morena party. The election campaign was marred by violence, with an unprecedented 37 political candidates killed and more than 828 incidents of politically inspired violence. During Sunday's vote, 2 people were killed at polling stations. President Sheinbaum will be under pressure to end the lawlessness of violent cartels who promote lawlessness and are extorting businesses and municipal governments for protection payments. She promised to continue addressing the root causes of violence by bringing in measures such as expanding youth programs and offering apprenticeships to discourage young people from joining the drug cartels. Although the government has avoided direct confrontation with the cartels under her predecessor's Hugs Not Bullets policy, it essentially allowed the cartels to take control of a dozen or more mid-sized cities. Evangelical Christians, especially in these areas, have experienced persecution and have often been forced out of their homes and ministries because of violence. During the presidential campaign, Sheinbaum described herself as a woman of faith and science, and she emphasized the separation of church and state in Mexico. Political opponents criticized her during the election campaign for wearing Catholic symbols in what was deemed as pandering among the country's vast majority of Catholics. Sheinbaum will assume office just a month before Americans head to the polls in November, where immigration is a top issue on the ballot. America has relied heavily on Mexico to step up immigration enforcement and help stem the flow of migration to the U.S. southern border. President Biden will sign the new migrant law in this coming week that will likely shut off asylum requests and deny entrance to migrants into the USA once a daily threshold is reached. With the numbers of migrants in Mexico significantly increasing, there is an unprecedented number of migrants in its territory. The government's policy of relocating them within the country and granting temporary residence visas that enable them to work for 4 years has given the church more time to reach migrants with the gospel. According to Child Evangelism Fellowship in Mexico, who work among the migrant children, many have come to Christ, but Christian workers need prayer and support to address the overwhelming needs.